Hey guys, Lisa Calicky here to show you how to create breakout rooms for your students in Zoom. So the purposes of this video is to show you how to create individual breakout rooms for your students in Zoom, where you as the teacher can jump between each breakout room and do things like conferencing for writing assignments, possibly work with your students in guided reading, maybe whisper reading you'd like to hear your students read, any host of reasons why you would need to work individually with your students, helping them with their learning. So that's what the purpose of this video is. All right, so let's get started. If you can see right now, I'm on my Zoom account page. And the reason why I'm here is because it's important to make sure that you have your breakout room setting turned on under your Zoom account before you're able to create breakout rooms in your live meetings with your students. And just to let you know that we are going to try to see if there's a way to save your breakout rooms. And I think there is, but it depends on your meeting room that you're using. If you're using a personal meeting, Zoom meeting room, you can't. But if you schedule a new meeting and make it recurring, there's a possibility that you can save your breakout rooms, meaning you won't have to create them every time you connect with your students on Zoom. All right, so once you're on your Zoom account page, you're going to come over to the left-hand menu and choose Settings. Okay, and from here, you're going to choose Advanced in Meeting Advanced, and that's going to bring you down to the advanced settings, since there are quite a few settings in Zoom. And once you are in Meeting Advanced portion of settings, you'll see the breakout room setting here. So you want to make sure that that slider is turned on. The white circle should be on the right of the slider. And then you want to make sure that you have this extra feature here checked off, allowing you, the host, to assign your participants, your students, to the breakout rooms while you're scheduling. So you want to have that control. Whether or not you want to use it is up to you, but you certainly want to be able to have that choice. All right, so once you have everything squared away here in your settings, I'm going to come over to a meeting I already have going, and it's just between myself and my colleague here. So you'll see that from here, if you hover your mouse, depending on how you have your screen set up, the bottom of your Zoom meeting page, you have your toolbar. And you want to choose breakout rooms. Okay, so here's where you're actually creating the rooms for your students. Now, like I said, this is something that if you're using your personal Zoom meeting room, you can't save this. So you'll have to kind of create it every single day, but you'll notice it's really not a big deal. It takes you less than 30 seconds to do. And then depending on how you want your students to join the rooms, it could be something that you do manually or you allow your students to do, or you allow Zoom to just do it for you. So that's what you're looking at right here in this breakout room window. So let's go through each one individually. So the first thing here, it says create, and it has a number, and you see some arrows, upward facing, downward facing. So this is going to allow you to create as many breakout rooms as you have students. So if you have 25 students, you create 25 breakout rooms. So every student has their own individual breakout rooms. This allows your students, again, to work also independently while you're jumping between rooms, and they are not distracted or left unattended in Zoom. They are working independently, yet they are still connected to Zoom. So that is how you create the amount of rooms. And now you see you have 3 choices down here about how students will eventually get into those rooms. Either you have Zoom assign the students to the rooms automatically, okay, and you'll see it will be 0 to 1 participant per room. So you have to make sure you have enough rooms for the amount of students in your class. So once you click on create and then open up those rooms, it will automatically push those kids into their breakout room. The second choice, which I recommend for anybody for the first time using breakout rooms, you might want to just be able to assign them automatically to your students. So that way you're in more control of what's going on. It's kind of like a, slow entrance into the breakout room pool where you are controlling your students and assigning them to the rooms that you want them to be in. And then the third one is let participants choose the room. So what that would do is if you, and you can certainly do this as well depending on the grade level of your students, but I really feel any grade level can do this. Basically, every room that you create has a number, so you can assign a number to your students. So if your student, you assign them breakout room number 1, they will always have to join breakout room number 1. So they will always choose that room and jump into it when you tell them to go into breakout rooms. So that's kind of an easy way for that to occur. The students are actually going into their own room that you've assigned to them, and they continually use that same room number every time you assign breakout rooms or create breakout rooms for your class. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you assign manually because that requires a little bit more work, and I want to show you how that's done. Clicking on create. So now you'll see I have 25 breakout rooms. If I scroll down, you'll see. And then you'll notice that as I'm rolling my mouse between the room numbers and the assign links, you'll see a rename and a delete room menu option or tool open up here. So if I needed to delete a room, I could just click on the X. If I wanted to rename the room, I could. But here's the thing with that. If you choose to rename your rooms and you end this meeting, all of the renaming disappears. It doesn't save. So I think that's just creating extra work for you as the meeting host to rename rooms. But we are definitely looking into how we could possibly create all of this under our accounts and then have it already ready for us when we get into our meetings with our students. All right, so the next thing you'll notice at the bottom, you have open all rooms, and that's the button you will push when you're ready to have your students join the rooms or go into the rooms, depending on how you choose for them to enter. If you made a mistake and you needed to add a room, you can click on add a room here. Recreating, if I clicked on the recreate button, you see how it brings up the rooms where you're able to choose the number of rooms and change how you are assigning your students. So that kind of brings that box, that window up for you that you initially had when you clicked on breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen. And last but not least, I would like you to bring your attention to the options gear here on the left-hand side bottom of your window. And I'm just going to tap on that. And this is pretty cool because this allows you to have even more control within your breakout rooms. So let me go through these quickly. Again, if you wanted your students to choose their room, you can just turn that setting on from here. Next, you have the ability for your students to return to the main screen at any time. Now, here's the caveat to this one. If you have this turned on, that means that while you're in other rooms, your students can jump back to the main screen. And if that happens, you might have a bunch of students in the main screen, okay? And that would mean that they're unattended. So depending on your group, if they're types of students that wouldn't even, do anything that they weren't supposed to, you might keep this setting turned on. But if you don't want them to be jumping back to the main screen while you're in breakout rooms, you would have to turn that setting off. All right. Next is automatically move all assigned participants into breakout rooms. Again, that's just like the first box that popped up when we first created our breakout rooms. This will automatically move the assigned participants into their breakout rooms. So you can have that checked on if you'd like to happen automatically. What that also means is that when you open up your room, students will have a pop-up window that will pop up on their Zoom screen that will say join breakout room, and they need to click on that button to join the breakout room. Now, if you just want them to automatically be pushed into the rooms, once you open those rooms where they don't have to click where it says join the room, then you're going to check this box off. What it does is it kind of forces the students to go into the rooms that you assigned without them having to click a button that says join the room. So if students are younger and they might not know to click on that and they're just sitting there in the main, you might just want to have this automatic. So that way, once you've assigned students to their rooms and you open up those rooms, there's nothing left that they have to do. It will automatically push them into their assigned rooms. So I'm going to check that one off. You have auto close breakout rooms. So you're able to choose a time limit for your breakout rooms to be open for. So if you're using this as a period or time within your period for maybe guided reading groups, and they usually last 20 minutes, you can turn this feature on and then change the time to be however long you want your students to be within those breakout rooms. And then they will close after that amount of time and everybody will be pushed back to the main screen. Everybody will get a notification. You will get a notification when the time is up. Students will get a notification in their breakout rooms that the breakout rooms will be closing. And then the next feature is a countdown. So as the rooms are closing, there'll be a countdown. So that way, students will know that they have a certain amount of time before they'll be pushed back to the main screen. And then you have a choice of how long you'd like that countdown to be. They're 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and so forth. Right? So you get to choose what you'd like, right? And these are extra options, features for the breakout room for the host. So once that's done and you have your options, now I'm going to assign. So this is manually assigning somebody. So I'm going to assign my participant, and this is how it would work. So if you chose to manually assign your students to their breakout rooms, you would click on the assign link across from the room number. And then once you click on it, your whole list of students will appear here. So then you just check off the box next to the student's name that you'd like to join that you'd like to be in that breakout room. So this is how you control who is going into what breakout room within your session. Again, this is you manually assigning. If you wanted your students to join, this word would be join, and your students would click on the join room next to the room number that you've assigned them. So if if I assign John Escalera room number 1, he would automatically click on the word join here, and he would join that room. That doesn't mean he's in that room right away. It just means he is joining that room. Only way he will get into that room is if, number 1, you open up all the rooms after the students have all joined or you've assigned them all. Or as the host, you can also individually push somebody or move somebody into a room on the fly at any time. So you see that once he is in that room, assigned to that room, actually, I can just push him into that room manually. But if I click on open all rooms, he's just going to go right into that room. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to click on open all rooms, assuming I have assigned everybody or everybody's jumped into their room. And is um, what's great is you'll be able to see who is in that room. So as a teacher, you're able to see all your room numbers, and you'll be able to see your students that are in each breakout room. Okay, so you can quickly just scan to see and make sure that everybody's in their assigned rooms. You'll also notice up here at the top of the window, it'll tell you that your breakout rooms are in progress and how much time you have left for the breakout rooms to be open. And you'll also see that at the top of your Zoom meeting screen. Okay, so let's take a look. We have new options down here at the bottom where you can broadcast a message to all. So if I'd like to send a message to everybody, maybe a reminder for whatever assignment that they're working on individually, you can click on here and you can send a message to all of your students, and then type your message and click on broadcast. And then if you need to close your rooms all at once before the time is up, you can click on close all rooms, and that will bring all of your students back to the main Zoom page, main Zoom screen, right? And now as a teacher, I can jump into the rooms. So what I would do, and also notice here, I'm able to join into any one of the rooms, and you also see your number. So you're able to see quickly how many students are in a room. If you don't have any of these open, like if this is closed, you see that arrow facing to the right. That means that room is closed from view. If I open it, I'd be able to see a list here. But if my room was closed, I could still see a number here. So that would also alert me as to making sure that there's only one student in each room. All right, so now to join a room as a teacher, you're just going to come over here to the number, and you'll see it turns to the word join. So I'm going to tap on the word join. It's going to ask me, do you want to join this room? I'm going to click on yes. So this is how I jump between rooms. So I'm going into this room, and this is where my student is in, John. And now it's just John and myself in this breakout room where I can now use my features of sharing a screen. I could turn my video on, unmute myself, and we're able to do whatever lessons we need to do here together, just myself and my one student. Okay. Notice once you jump in a room, you're not unable to view the breakout room window on the fly here. But if I click on the breakout room tool on my toolbar at the bottom, while I'm in a breakout room, I can see that window. So I still have the opportunity to control my breakout rooms even while I'm in, so I could still take a look and make sure that everybody's, in their rooms if I wanted to, make sure that everything's going on the way that it should be going on while I'm in a breakout room. You can also broadcast a message to everybody and close all rooms while you're in a breakout room with your student. And again, I can also jump between rooms. So now when I'm finished here with John and I want to jump into room number 2 with another student, I can click join, and I could join room number 2, which would then bring me to room number 2 and working with that student. So that's how a teacher would jump between rooms and work with students individually. And then if you want to go back to the main screen, the main Zoom screen, click on leave room, and then you want to leave the breakout room, and that's going to bring you back to the main session as a teacher. So you're back now in the main session, and if you want to close your breakout rooms, You can close all rooms, and what that's going to do, it's going to give your participants the 60 seconds to leave, knowing that they're going to be leaving their breakout rooms and within that time period. And as that time trickles down, students are able to either finish up their work and let the time trickle down and have Zoom automatically push them back into the main session, or students have the opportunity to click on leave room. Oh, actually, no. In this one, they won't, because I took that feature off for them in the options when I was creating the room. So they won't be able to jump back to the main session. They will have to wait until the breakout rooms close. So again, you have the choice of how many seconds that the countdown will be before the rooms actually close and students are pushed back to the main session. And now you can see my breakout rooms are closed. And now if I close this window of breakout rooms, you could see that my student is now back in the main session with me here. And all your students actually will jump back into the main session. All right, guys, so I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But this was using breakout rooms, individual breakout rooms in your Zoom sessions with your students for individualized instruction. All right, guys, have a great day.